the application that you have deployed here. This is your application. So reverse proxy is a service, or is a type of security enhancement that hides your backend servers, the sensitive data like IP or host names of your backend servers, right? So it sits between your backend servers and internet. This is reverse proxy from here to here. And when it comes to forward proxy, the forward proxy will be inside your firewall. Yeah, here, somewhere here, that restricts your access. So it may be some client, or it may be some user intranet, right? So here, this is the firewall, and here is the internet. So your requests will be blocked, restricted to access any other applications. So here there will be forward proxy. So this is your forward proxy. So let us understand here. For forward proxy, it is client-side proxy. A forward proxy sits between clients and the internet. It acts on behalf of clients to request resources from the web servers. So web servers, in the sense, from the internet, it goes to web server, right? So from here, it goes to some other web server. Web servers used for security, content filtering, or some other anonymity. So example here, web proxy servers, VPN services, corporate proxies. So we use content filtering, right? So in your office laptop, can you be able to access Netflix or Naukri.com, or any streaming? Can you watch movies like any OTT platforms? No, it is prohibited and it is restricted. So enterprise grade forward proxies for secure internet access. And here VPNs routes client traffic through remote servers to bypass geo restrictions. So geo restrictions, what is geo restrictions? Country. So some websites, yeah, let me give you an example. Netflix. So we are in India and we are accessing Netflix. So what do you get the recommendations more about Indian movies, right? So if you search a movie on Google search, and it says, okay, it is available on Netflix. But when you click it, it opens the app on your mobile, the Netflix app, and it says this is not available in your region. So that is geo restrictions. So that falls under forward proxy, restricting something. And web proxy servers, Squid proxy caches web content to speed up access and reduce bandwidth usage. Apache traffic server. So this is not Apache web server. It acts as a proxy, a forward proxy for HTTP requests, used in organizations to control internet access. A secure proxy to bypass internet restrictions. And public proxies, web scraping, anonymity. So web scraping is something that bots or some automation tools continuously sends requests to your application. So to avoid or to stop those kinds of requests, which causes heavy load on your servers, so these public proxy services are used, right? Used for bypassing geo restrictions or web scraping, right? So this is about forward proxy. And when it comes to reverse proxy, this is server-side proxy. So a reverse proxy sits between clients and backend servers, right? So client and backend server, this is a real reverse proxy. So uh, it improves security, load balancing, caching. So static content will be cached in your reverse proxy for better performance. And SSL termination. We know that when it comes to SSL termination mechanism, like HTTPS and providing with the CA certificates to the users, the reverse proxy server works better compared to backend application servers. So real world examples, load balancing, it distributes traffic across multiple servers like Nginx, Apache HTTP server and HA proxy. So it acts as a reverse proxy for backend applications, balances traffic for backend application servers. And there are some CDNs. So these are related to network. So the caching and the data caching and the content will be delivered over the networks. So CDNs, we call it as CDNs. Cloudflare, you might have seen Cloudflare ads on YouTube. Akamai and Fastly, reverse proxies services that cache and distribute content globally, right? And application gateways like API gateways, payment gateways are there, right? So Kong API gateway, AWS API gateway. So these manages APIs using reverse proxy. It acts as a reverse proxy for backend services. Which one? AWS.
Hello,
So
sir.
yeah,
I have one
yes,
question. Here, load
yeah,
balancer is there, right?
yeah.
In generally, in my organization, in Jboss, Apache don't have SSL, but they are saying SSL is on load balancer.
Yes. So here, this is your Apache, and in the front end of Apache, there may be a load balancer. It can be a hardware load balancer or a software load balancer. So if there is a load balancer, then in your production, there might be multiple web servers. How many servers you have in the production? Two?
11, sir.
No, no, I'm not talking about application servers. I'm asking about Apache servers.
Apache web servers only.
11.
Yes.
How many backend?
Backend are 12 application servers, and also remaining more are there application server, but it is different applications. They
Okay,
are pointing.
different applications, different
But
server
which
groups.
means nearly 20 to 25 application servers are there.
Okay, so that is why for high availability in your architecture there is a load balancer. Even if one web server fails, the other web servers will be available to handle the requests. Yeah, load balancers are very common these days.
Like here, load balancer, software load balancer means they can also use Nginx or Apache.
Yes, yes. Even if you don't have a load balancer, you can have a reverse proxy, which is Apache, and it can also load balance to backend application servers. Or you can have a Nginx load balancer in front of Apache servers. Or you can have a cloud-based load balancer. OCI has a load balancer, AWS, GCP, Azure. There are multiple load balancers. Or if you go for hardware load balancers, there are Big IP, F5, and what else? There are many. Cisco. These
Okay.
are the hardware load balancers.
But these hardware load balancer and software load balancer is there in front of Apache. Those can be handled by the network team, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It depends upon the type of load balancer. If in some companies, the load balancers, the software load balancers may be handled by the middleware team only, because software load balancer, it is not that complicated. It will have a console. You will configure all the IP addresses and port numbers based on the application domain name.
Okay. Sir, one last question. If software load balancer is there in front of Apache, it is also like Apache. We have to configure SSL same as we are doing in the JBoss level or Apache level. We have to do the same, right?
Yes, if whatever is the client facing service. here the client facing service is load balancer, right?
Yes.
So it is mandatory to configure CA certificates at the front end server, which is client facing. Even if you don't configure in the back end, your request will be uh, transitioned from HTTPS to HTTP only. But at LB, or if you don't have LB at web server level, you need to configure SSL, mandatory, yeah, for production.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me. Uh, we were discussing about CDNs and application gateways. So application gateways, security and API gateway. It manages APIs using reverse proxy, and AWS API gateway acts as a reverse proxy for backend services. So ingress, you can use ingress, SSL termination and security. So these all falls under reverse proxy. Yes, as I said, F5, Big IP, Citrix, reverse proxy appliances that handle SSL decryption and security, and web acceleration for better performance. Caching. Caching, we talk about a lot regarding cache and sessions from now on. So one is cache, this is some kind of service. Reverse proxy for caching dynamic web content. So what kind of dynamic content? There is lot of dynamic content. So I have tried to compare it, who uses it, which one? Proxy servers, clients. But here reverse proxy is used by servers for web applications and APIs. And this forward proxy, client side, users and browsers. Purpose, content filtering, restrictions, security, anonymity. And reverse proxy is for load balancing, caching and security. So traffic direction, it intercepts outbound traffic from client to proxy, proxy to server. So it intercepts the outbound traffic between client and server. This one intercepts inbound traffic from client to backend servers, right? So see here. So this is some other web server outside your uh, firewall. Okay, in your organization, this is your outside your firewall. So if it is a bank, there also it is restricted to access any content. So your reverse proxy sits between client and backend application server. This is reverse proxy. And the forward proxy sits between client and other web server over the internet, right? That is what it is mentioned here. So here, this is inbound traffic. The reverse proxy accepts inbound traffic from internet, from the browser. Forward proxy intercepts between user and some other web servers outside your network. It intercepts between user and server to filter the content and restrict the outbound traffic. So for this web server, again, this is inbound traffic. But here this is outbound traffic. It sits between outbound traffic, and reverse proxy sits between client and backend server, intercepting the inbound traffic. Yeah.
Sir, here, which means whenever user in the left side user hit
Yeah.
something, it will go to internet and it will go to reverse proxy. Then
Yeah.
after it will go
Application
to
server.
application server, and then it
Yes.
will go to forward proxy.
No. These two are different scenarios. I'm fitting it everything in your organization base. Like I'm taking example. So this is entirely different. This is reverse proxy and this is forward proxy. So in the same network, uh, this is end client user. Okay, this is your application. Okay, Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon. So you are
Hmm.
user. You are accessing this application. If you have internet only you can be able to access, right?
Yes.
So okay, for example, let us take your bank only. In your bank, there are multiple Apache servers. All these are reverse proxies. So which accepts the request. Whoever opens your banking site.
Okay, here reverse proxy means Apache web server, we can assume.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
not yes. And here forward proxy means in your bank, there are many employees working in your bank, right? So
Yes, sir.
for in your bank, the computers, the laptops, the banking laptops, it will be configured with forward proxy. So you cannot access the other content for
Yes, sir.
security,
Yes.
right? So that is forward proxy.
Okay.
Understood now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it intercepts which one? Forward proxy intercepts outbound traffic. It restricts the content, and reverse proxy intercepts the inbound traffic. So it accepts the traffic from the outside world. Examples: Squid, VPNs. So VPN, without VPN, you cannot connect to the any other client's network, right? So that is also a forward proxy. And reverse proxy, there are many. Nginx, Apache, AWS API gateway. There are many kinds of reverse proxies. Clear, right?